Hey guys, so this is your asynchronous lesson for Monday, November 2nd. We are just going to practice more problems of how to add those negative numbers. And so what I'm going to show you today is instead of having to draw the boxes to solve our problems, like that was a visual way of how to solve the problems, I'm going to show you another method today. We're going to practice it again tomorrow of how we can add these negative numbers without having to draw those boxes, because that's pretty time consuming. It's going to come down to either we add numbers together or we subtract numbers together. So what I want you to do is prep your paper, nice new piece of paper, title it Adding Negative Integers Practice. And kind of like we did at the beginning of the year, I want you to draw 10 boxes. So if you want to split your piece of paper, down the middle and then draw 5 lines across, we have 10 problems we're going to do today. 5 I will specifically walk you through, then I'll have you pause and do the last 5 and then unpause to check your answers. But I'm going to show you the new method. You can already see that I have all of the problems pre-written for you. If you want to just pause now and copy the problems, you can. Whatever works best for you is fine. But our learning objective today, or IWillBot, is use a table to add negative numbers. So if you need a pause to get your paper ready, please do so. But we are going to get started here. So on your piece of paper, make sure you write down the problem. So the problem, here we have question 1, and it says -2 plus 8. I actually want you to write down that on your paper, right? -2 plus 8. Now, with our picture method, I would have drawn 2 colored in boxes and 8 not colored in boxes, and I would have crossed numbers like boxes out and then see what I had left. Well, this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a little table. A little positive and negative table. This is what I want you to do, is on your paper next to the problem, write yourself a little table, write a plus sign on the left and a minus sign on the right. The plus and the minus are related to the numbers in the problem. This table method works only when we're adding. So when there's a plus sign in the middle of the numbers, which all of our problems are addition problems, which means this table will always work. And when it's not a plus in the middle, so when it's not an adding problem, I will show you in a week how to change these other problems that we're going to see into an addition or an adding problem so we can use our table. So in the end, we'll be able to use this little method all of the time. And I really like this table because I think it's going to organize our work. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the very first number. And I'm going to do a little highlighting, I think. So the first number is -2. Now, because it's a negative, that means on the negative side of my table, I write what the number was, which is 2. Then I look at the second number. I'm going to highlight that. Second number was just an 8. Well, that's a normal 8. That's a nice positive 8. So on the positive side, I'd write 8. Well, what I have right now are numbers on the opposite sides. So what I do is subtract. And what I do, I'm subtracting like normal. So I take 2 away from 8. And well, 8 minus 2 is 6. Now we decide if our answer is going to stay a positive 6 or if it's a negative 6 by looking at which side of our table had the bigger number. So I'm looking at an 8 compared to a 2. Well, 8 is bigger, and it's on the positive or plus side, so I just keep this as a nice, normal, positive 6 as my final answer. And, we're just gonna practice these problems and pretty much until you're sick of them, not just today, but we're gonna do it again tomorrow, because I really want you guys to feel confident about this. So let's move on to question 2. -4 plus 3. Make sure you got it written down. I'm going to do some highlighting again. The first number is -4. So that's on the negative side. So it's a negative 4 on my negative side of my table. I write a 4. The next number is plus a 3. Well, that's just a normal 3. It's a positive 3. So on my positive side of my table, I write 3. Opposite sides, I have a number on both sides. That means I subtract. So I subtract like normal. 4 minus 3. Well, that's 1. Now I just need to decide if it's a normal positive one or if it's a negative one by looking at which side had the bigger number. So I'm looking at 3 compared to 4. Well, 4 is bigger, and it's on the minus side or the negative side, so it means my answer is negative. So its final answer is -1. Then I move to question 3. I'm going to do the same thing. But now I have -9 plus -4. So now I'm going to make another little positive negative side of a table. I'm going to highlight. That's just me. You don't have to be highlighting. The first number in the problem is -9. So on my negative side of the table, I write 9. Second number in my problem, said plus, let's see, -4. Oh, well, that is a minus again. So that means on the minus side or the negative side, I just write 4. Same side means you add. So we just add 9 and 4. Well, 9 plus 4 is 13. And because they were all on the negative side, it just stays negative. So we say this equals -13. This just takes a lot of practice to kind of get used to what to do as to when you add the numbers versus subtract the numbers. Let's just try another one, just like number 3. So we have question 4, says -3 plus -1. Let me make my table. The first number is -3. So on my negative side of my table, I write a 3. The next number in our problem says -1. So that's also negative. So on my negative side of my table, I just write a 1. They're on the same side, so we add together. So I do 3 plus 1. That's 4. But because they're all on the negative side, our answer stays negative. So we say this equals -1. -1, oh, I don't know what happened, -4. I said it wrong, but I wrote it right. I think I'm sleepy from all of our conferences this past week. Okay, question 5. We have 4 plus -5. So I'm still just always going to do my little table here. Positive and negative side. The first number is a 4. Well, that's just a normal 4. That's a nice, when I say normal, what that means is just a positive 4. So on the positive side of the table, I write 4. The second number in my problem says -5. Okay, well, -5 is a negative number, so on my negative side, I write 5. Well, I have numbers on the opposite side, so what do? I subtract. And I just subtract like normal. 5 minus 4. Well, that's a 1. And now I'm deciding which side had the bigger number. 4 compared to 5. Well, 5 is bigger. It's on the minus side, so it's -1. Or -1 is another way to say that answer. Okay, so now there's 5 questions left, and I want them to be all yours. So let me see if I can. I want you to pause the video right now, at least get down questions 6 through 9 to write down on your paper. Then on pause and go to question 10. Here's question 10. So you might need to pause again to write it down. Okay, so now that you have them written down, I actually want you to try the problem. So pause one last time, work through these 5 problems. Then once you've attempted them, unpause to check your work. Okay, let's see how you did. Question 6 says -5 plus 6. So let me make my table. The first number is -5. So on the negative side of my table, I'd have a 5. Second number is a 6. So that means it's a normal 6. It's a positive 6. So positive side has a 6. Opposite sides, we subtract. So I do 6 minus 5. Well, that's 1. Which side had the bigger number? Well, the positive side had the bigger number. And so just stays a positive 1. So I just kind of leave it like this. I don't need to write a little plus sign. You're not wrong if you do that. And if it helps you, that's okay. But it's just a normal 1. Question 7, -6 plus 9. So when you make a little table here, first number is -6. Second number is a normal 9. So let's see, -6 means on the negative side I have a 6. Then a 9, that's a normal positive 9, so positive side has a 9. Opposite sides means we subtract. So I do 9 minus 6, and that's 3. Which side had the bigger number? Well, the positive side did, because 9 is bigger. So this stays a nice positive 3. Okay, let's try question 8. We have a positive and negative table again, every question. First number says -3, so that means on the negative side of my table, I'd have a 3. Second number is -9. Well, it's also negative, so on the negative side, I'd have 9. Same, when the numbers are on the same side, you just add. Let's do 3 plus 9. Let's see, that's 12. But since they're both on the negative side, it just stays negative. So we say this is -12, or you could read that as -12. It's another way to read it, and you'd be right. Last 2 problems. Question 9, -5 plus -6. Let me make my table. First number, -5. That's a negative number, so on the negative side I write 5. Second number, -6. It's also negative, so on the negative side I'd write 6. Same side I add together, because they're both on the minus side. So 5 plus 6, that's 11. Because they're both on the minus side or the negative side, just makes it negative. So you have -11. How are you doing so far? Do you think you're doing okay? Think about questions that you might have. I'll answer any of them tomorrow, okay? So write them down if you think you'll forget. The last one, question 10. 7 plus -4. Still a little table problem, so I have a positive and negative side. First number is a 7. That's a normal positive 7. So on the positive side, I write 7. Second number, -4. Well, that's negative. So on my negative side, I'd write 4. Because the numbers are on opposite sides of the table, you subtract. So I do 7 minus 4. What is that? Well, that's 3. Which side had the bigger number? Well, that would have been the positive side because 7 is bigger. So this stays a nice, normal, positive 3. We'll see. I'm hoping maybe this makes some more sense. If not, we can keep practicing it, and I'll show you other methods as well. But we'll talk again about all of this tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to keep practicing until you feel comfortable. So that is it. No VMath. Don't worry about it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.